are we doing today?
Well, we're going to the ferry.
Hey everybody, I am Joe Tobias, a Washington State elopement photographer based in Seattle. And for this video, my daughter and I, Lena, went on a trip across the Puget Sound to Bremerton and back. Along the way, I was shooting the Ferrania P30 film, which is a film I've had kind of like laying around on my shelf for a really long time. And I was just really excited to take it out and to finally have a good excuse to use it. And just because ferries are so iconic, it was going to be a fun day with Lena. And so I finished off a previous roll and then put it in there and was really, as the boat was pulling out, just like so excited to use this film. Look at me for just a second here and we'll go back to the video, I promise. But I do want to just say, like, something went wrong in the development. And so a couple of these photos, or almost all of the black and white photos here, look off. There's something weird about it, and I'm going to talk about that a lot more at the end of the video. But I just want to acknowledge that, like, stuff doesn't look right. But there's like 3 or 4 photos in here that I kind of went to town on in Photoshop to really clean up. So when you see those, it's not that those photos were that much better, it's just like I actually did a lot more work on it. But anyway, that's probably not information you want for now, and so I'm just going to kind of shut up and just let this all play, and I'll talk to you at the end. So this is the point where we finished off the P30, and there was still a lot more of the trip left, so I threw in a roll of Color Plus 200 that I just had laying in my backpack just to finish off the roll because it was too pretty and too fun not to be making photos. Yeah, so with these Color Pluses, and now these photos absolutely shine, which is wild with how poorly the black and whites were turning out. These ones that just look majestic. These are some of the best color scans I've gotten in a very long time. I'm just really, really happy with these photos, which is kind of why I'm showing them to you, because it's just kind of like, I know this video is supposed to be about the Ferrania film, but I kind of want to just like put those feathers in my cap and be like, these ones turned out really good, so please, you know, I'm a decent photographer and decent film developer and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, keep watching. So now that it's all done, like, what do I think about Ferrania P30? This is a film that, you know, I'd heard about Ferrania here and there. It definitely, the company Ferrania, as it was known way back in the day, had stopped being a thing before I got back into film. But kind of knew about it, and then I read the book, The Revenge of Analog, and read about their kind of the revival that was going on there. And then I saw it for sale on some shop online. I was like, oh yeah, I'll buy a couple rolls of that. And so I don't know why this one didn't develop correctly. And so this roll here, it had been sitting out for maybe a year. Like, I hadn't been refrigerating it like I probably should have, but a year shouldn't affect it. And I shot and so it had to be something in the developer, but at the same point, I also developed this and a roll of Canon 400 at the same time. Now, and the Kent mirror is actually, according to like the logs and stuff, the Kent mirror should take less time to develop than the P30 should. But if you look at these two films, like, it's night and day which one actually looks good. And like this P30, this 80 film just looks just like it's nearly transparent. There's also a bunch of like fogging that went on through it. So again, these are two films that probably were not back to back, but very close to each other, developed at the same time in the same dark bag, and something just went weird with this roll, and so that's a huge bummer. It also is really it got a lot dirtier. Like, there's a lot of dust specks, which that I expect, but there's also a lot of those kind of like big amoeba-looking blobs and stuff on there. So I probably should invest in some photo flow or some like cleaning stuff to put on the film at the end. But that's all to kind of go through and just be like, I don't really fully know what happened with that developer. It was an old developer. It wasn't new, pretty much at the end of its lifespan. But again, I developed other film in the same tank at the same time that came out completely fine. So I don't really know. But there is something I actually still like about it, looking through it. Like, number one, the film is super crisp. Like, super sharp, and the grain is almost non-existent. Like, it's so smooth, and like, also, even because it's such kind of that like almost underexposed lifted look, those shadows are beautiful. I love the kind of like that deep, rich, but yes, also lifted look that they've got going on. It looks so cool. And Yeah, and that's something, again, I don't know if that would look different if it got developed correctly, or maybe I needed to be overexposing it more, because I did shoot it at box speed. I set the camera to 80 ISO. But, so I don't know what went wrong, but I also really love it. And so I do have another roll that I'll shoot someday. That one's living in my fridge for now. I'm just waiting for the right moment. So I'm hoping that whenever that rolls around, it'll look better. But I do like this film. I just am really disappointed in how this particular roll came out, and hope that on my next try, it turns out better. But then again, that's also kind of why we try things. And like, you try things and sometimes it doesn't work. And I'm totally okay with testing and failed tests, because failed tests is how you learn. And failed tests, making photos with my daughter hanging out, was a really fun way to do it. And so I'm going to go fail some more tests. But I hope that was fun. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around.